Follow me on a journey where no one has ever been before. Listen to the Cali Effect.
Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. It is just a lovely day at college, and I was like, well, since it is October, we're gonna skip to file number 6 and do the story of Skull Servant. That's right. I'm not really a person for holidays, but why not? It's October. Everybody loves Mr. Skull Servant. Appearing in the early days of the official card game was a fellow in a charming outfit of a meager attack and defense, which earned him many strange friends. Mr. Skull Servant here. We'll go into detail about Mr. Skull Servant. Let's find out his bizarre charm Mr. Skull Servant holds for so many. Okay, and as you guys can see, I think that's Auntie. That's Auntie holding the Skull Servant. So, I don't necessarily understand quite yet, but I'm pretty sure I soon will understand in due time. Mr. Skull Servant writes, "Thank you, my growing number of friends. First of all, welcome all friends of Mr. Skull Servant, who have popped up rather recently. Because of each of you, friends of Mr. Skull Servant are here reading this. It's quite impressive to think he was born from the cheers and encouragement of so many fans." No, wait. Skull Servant was born, but he's dead. It's a skeleton. But he was... Okay, sure. And then I guess that's the Wandering Doom. I don't even remember this card, but he must be a really good friend of Mr. Skull Servant, to kind of look like him and, have the kind of a similar pose to him and fucked up clothes. If he wants to be no 20 yellow swag, blaze it, then that's fine. The look-alike wearing green clothes is Mr. Wandering Doom. Alright, thank you for answering my question. Two of them, being peas in a pod, have become the topic of discussion in the white community. Now, I'm assuming the white community is like all the Skull Servants, all the Lady of the Whites, all the cards under there that are basically bones of dead people who get born, but are dead people from last time I checked. Yeah. The white is the Skull Servant family. Okay. Alright, so from what I'm starting to see is that when Skull Servant came out, it's supposed to be a white monster. Kind of weird that it's kind of white. Do you get it? Because he's kind of white. But they didn't necessarily think of a white deck coming out, so they just named it Skull Servant. So Skull Servant is a white card. Blah. And now there's the King of Skull Servant. This figure, when surrounded by the other whites, gives off the air and personality of a king. Mr. Skull Servant in question seems to be saying, "That's what I'll be one of these days." No? As he gives a glance. Alright, so we already know he's going to be the King of Skull Servants. And then there's the Lady in the White, the superstar of the white community. It is said she is quite displeased with the being confused with Skull Servant while sleeping in the grave. And then Whitemare, an anticipator newcoming in the white community. He seems to quite enjoy drinking tea, but seems to always look so sad because it leaks right out after drinking it because he's a skeleton. So I'm guessing this whole little Skull Servant white is like a community of people. I guess. Mr. Skull Servant actually shows up in a lot of places. Can you fans of Mr. Skull Servant quickly find him in these pictures? Okay, so he's in Spirit Queller. This is an easy one. It's pretty obvious where Mr. Skull Servant is. By the way, the words Mr. Skull Servant said were here. Sorry, I'm filling up the joint. Get it? His leg, joint, Halloween special. This is so easy. Though for some reason the strange expression seems quite contrary to the normal countenance of Mr. Skull Servant. So one might be inclined to think, maybe this isn't Mr. Skull Servant. However, one can be sure once they double check the picture. Alright. So I think Pride, isn't it like Pride of the Strong or Pride of whatever is a different one, and this is Mr. Skull Servant screaming as opposed to doing it? Okay, that makes sense. Oh, he's in Chintonian Blast. I guess that's him being blown up. Who exploded? Are they alright? It's a troubling shot. If one pays attention, they should be able to tell the one who exploded was Mr. Skull Servant. Incidentally, if Mr. Skull Servant is destroyed by this effect, the damage is 150. Okay. And then I did not know that was him in the top left corner. At first glance, one thinks, is Mr. Skull Servant in the card? If you would look at the illustration and think of it, sent flying across the moon in the upper left corner is our favorite guy, Mr. Skull Servant. However, wishes he wasn't recovered by the effect. Oh, alright, I guess. And I did not know. Zombie Master is a key component to any zombie deck. If one eyes was drawn to what is being special summoned, one would say, that's not Mr. Skull Servant. Well, of course not. Looks at the bottom left. He's an adorable ancient. He has an adorable, if ancient look that seems to ask, will I be next? Okay, where the hell is he? Where the hell is he? I cannot see him. Well, obviously because the screen's white. But... oh, duh. That makes perfect sense. Alright, sure. I guess they kind of sneak him into a lot of strange cards. Well, now you guys know how many cards he's been snuck into, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more because Master Guide 3 is pretty old. Let's give Mr. Skull Servant our best regards. Do you grasp the appeal of the loved and adored Mr. Skull Servant? If Encourage continues, then even more cards that'll make Mr. Skull Servant any stronger won't just be a dream. It'll become life. Everyone let's support him. Why do I have a strong feeling that people actually support Skull Servant, and that's the reason why more cards are made. Sure. Self-mummification. There are expectations of even more cards like Mr. Skull Servant in the future. From here on out, Mr. Skull Servant is going to become pretty super cool. Alright, well I guess that's a foretold of all the Skull Servant cards that have came out since Master Guide 3 has came out. To be honest with you guys, I don't think this was a really good story personally, even though I did learn a lot of good things about Skull Servant, but he had no base, no substance to it. It just showed you a whole bunch of interesting cards nonetheless, I guess. But that's basically it. Happy Halloween, everybody, even though we're like, what, 29 days into the 29 days before it. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.